All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're cracking open the mind of one of the greatest strategists in history, Sun Tzu. And we're starting right at the beginning, Chapter 1 of The Art of War, Laying Plans. Why start here? Because Sun Tzu makes it crystal clear. How you begin is everything. It literally determines whether you win or lose before you even start. And wow, Sun Tzu does not mess around. He hits you with this right out of the gate. The stakes couldn't be higher. He's telling us this isn't some abstract exercise. It's not a game. Strategy, whether you're talking about ancient warfare or a modern boardroom, is about survival. Plain and simple. It's the road to safety or the road to complete and utter ruin. He's grabbing you by the shoulders and saying, pay attention, this matters. And that really sets the stage for what this whole chapter is about. See, it's not actually about the art of fighting. It's about the wisdom of preparing so well, so thoroughly, that you almost make fighting irrelevant. It's a masterclass in thinking before you act, in deliberation over pure aggression. So, okay, how do you actually do that? How do you think things through? Well, this is where Sun Tzu gives us something incredibly practical. He lays out this brilliant, timeless framework. Think of it like a strategic checklist. 5 key factors you need to look at in pretty much any competitive situation to figure out where you stand. And here they are. First up, the moral law. This is all about unity. Are the leaders and the people on the same page, fighting for the same cause? Super important. Then you've got heaven. Now, this sounds a bit mystical, but it's really about timing and the environment, things you can't control, like the seasons, the weather, the time of day. And number 3 is earth. This is your literal ground, the terrain. You have to know it inside and out. Where are the dangers? Where are the opportunities? The 4th factor? It's all about the commander. And for Sun Tzu, a great leader isn't defined by their title, but by their character. He gives us these 5 essential virtues. It's not just about having them either. It's about the balance. You need that benevolence to care for your people, but you also need the strictness to keep things from falling apart. A leader who's missing these is a huge liability. And that brings us to the 5th and final factor, method and discipline. This is the nuts and bolts, the engine room of the whole operation. We're talking organization, logistics, who reports to whom. You can have the best leader and the most motivated team, but without solid method and discipline, it's all going to crumble. But here's the real kicker, the part that ties all this together. This isn't just a self-assessment. You have to run this checklist on your opponent too. Who has more unity? Who knows the terrain better? Whose leader is more virtuous? Sun Tzu's point is that victory is found in the answers to these questions, long before a single move is made. Okay, so once you've done that assessment, your mindset has to shift. You move from just observing and analyzing to actively shaping the situation. You're not just a spectator anymore. You're stacking the deck in your favor to lock in that victory before the real fight even starts. I mean, this is the absolute heart of the chapter. The real fight, the one that actually matters, happens in the planning room, not on the battlefield. It's a battle of minds, of foresight. The strategist who does the homework, who runs the numbers and anticipates more moves, that's who's going to win. Brute force just can't compete with a truly superior plan. And this, of course, leads us to what is maybe Sun Tzu's most famous idea of all, deception. But listen, this isn't about little white lies or cheap tricks. It's a seriously sophisticated psychological game. The whole point is to control your opponent's perception of reality, to get inside their head and make them act on bad information. So rule number 1 of deception is a classic. When you are at your strongest, when you're ready to pounce, you need to look weak, disorganized. You want to bait your opponent into getting cocky. Rule number 2 is all about messing with their sense of space and time. When you're right on their doorstep, about to make your move, you need to make it seem like you're miles away, posing 0 threat. You want them to think they have all the time in the world. They don't. And then there's rule number 3, create a false sense of security. So when you're totally active, coiled, and ready to strike, you have to look, well, lazy, inactive, maybe even asleep. This is how you lull your enemy into complacency, right before you make your move. But wait. Sun Tzu goes even deeper. Deception isn't just about what you project outwardly. It's about getting under your opponent's skin and manipulating their emotions. Is your enemy hot-headed? Poke them. Provoke them into making a stupid, angry decision. Are they arrogant? Feed that ego until they can't think straight. Are they trying to rest? Harass them, wear them down, give them no peace. It's psychological warfare, pure and simple. So you might be thinking, okay, this is great for ancient generals, but what about me? And that's the genius of Sun Tzu. This stuff is absolutely timeless. Let's take these ancient principles and see how they apply right now in business, in your career, even in your personal life. Just look at how this translates. The commander, that's modern leadership, right? The qualities of a great CEO or team lead. Method and discipline, that's project management. Heck, it's even just building good daily habits. And deception? In the business world, that's just smart negotiation. It's a marketing strategy where you don't show all your cards at once. But there's a really important warning that comes with all of this. A plan is not a rigid script you follow no matter what. Sun Tzu would tell you that's a recipe for disaster. Because markets change, right? Competitors do things you don't expect. Your strategy has to be fluid, like water. It can't be brittle like a brick. A true strategist knows how to adapt their plan on the fly. And it all comes down to this, the single biggest takeaway from the entire chapter. Victory isn't decided when the fighting starts. It's forged way before that, in the planning, in the calculations, in that deep, honest understanding of both yourself and your opponent. Victory is the child of superior planning. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to take with you. Think about your next big challenge. It could be a project at work, a tough negotiation, a personal goal you've set for yourself. And ask this: have you done the work? Have you run the calculations? In your next challenge, have you already won the war before the first arrow is loosed?